This is Lord Mafka, aka Rogan Rhyme, back at you with another video, and I'm doing a what you would call it as a late night presentation, as I'm recording this video. So let's get to the video. I'm going to be talking about why the nightclub life is just done for and overrated. And I want to shout out, let's see, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. I want to shout out Pep D7D for this video topic. So shouts out to you, man, and for all you other guys who comment on the channel as well. I appreciate you. But let's get into the video actually. Now, when it comes to the nightclub life, guys, you really have to understand that the dynamics and socializing has changed so much. People aren't going to talk to you if you're not a super famous person. People aren't going to want to socialize with you if they can't use you for anything, because we live in a society that is very transactional when it comes to people cohabitating and socializing with each other, you see. And the whole thing with nightclubs is it heavily revolves around the dating market and plays into the woman's favor, really. And you have to understand the reason why I say nightclubs are just futile and it's a waste of time for a man to go, especially if you're thinking about getting a woman, you're literally wasting your time. Because these women in these nightclubs, they already have a load of men they're talking to that are hitting them up that are most likely a bit more attractive than you. They have more money, more status than you, more reach. And if these guys are just in her handful of men to pick from and they haven't gotten anywhere with her to make her stop going to a nightclub to be in a relationship with her, what makes you think you're going to have a chance? This is why females enjoy being single nowadays, because this gives them an abundance for men to pick from. And nightclubs are a very deceitful thing and drains the wallet and just the self-esteem from a man, because it literally works up your hopes. When you see a woman in a velvet red dress to where she's just looking so fine and beautiful to you, this is how you start to get things, instantly like one-itis, just, obsessing over that girl, as we say, right? And this is why nightclubs are so just dire and, just diabolical towards the man's well-being mentally and just emotionally, because you're just gonna feel like just trash, man, if you just go up to this chick and she just rejects you. The last time I went to a nightclub was 4 years ago, guys, and it was literally such a boring experience. And I was with a few college buddies of mine. We actually had two girls in our group, and it was three guys, including me. So I was the fourth guy, I would say, right? And we were at this nightclub over here, and a lot of people in the nightclub, from the first thing that we noticed, were in their own cliques. And that's literally how nightclubs are nowadays. First off, when you go into a nightclub, you're going to see people in their own groups cohabitated already. They're already set up with their people that they trust and talk to. So when it comes to strangers interacting with each other, it's not going to be anything that leads up to something grand or spectacular between you or that other person. And in this case, mostly focused on male to female relationships, right? So it's not going to really lead up to anything, because these women, especially, already have the men that are chasing after them. They already have their social group set up. So they don't need any more validation, from a lowly guy like you, as they would deem you to be. Because a lot of women find a lot of men to be inferior at these nightclubs, especially because they're getting free attention. And not to mention, you have men sending these women these drinks and getting coerced into sending them drinks. There's literally, I remember I was at the nightclub and we were talking to one group, because one of the guys in our college group went up and introduced himself to, one of the group of people in the nightclub, and we were just talking about life in general. It was the just most boring and bland conversation. It was just normal, boring. It wasn't nothing just innovative thinking, right? And I remember a girl was literally asking, a few guys, could you get me a drink? And one guy said, yeah, I'll get you a drink. And he actually offered to get, some more people drinks, and a few people accept it. But the point is, I use that as an example of the nightclubs are going to use a man as an ATM dispenser, especially in the woman's favor, because that's what it's centered around. And when it comes to the thought of asking women out and getting their numbers in nightclubs, guys, you have to understand that women have to go and say so to reject you, because it's like, what are they going to really want with you, when they already have these options of men? And this is why the nightclub life has just really died out, because for one, the dating pool is horrible, and then number two, people don't party how they used to. I remember when I was younger how, people in my family, older people used to tell me how people used to just party, have a good time, dance around, drink champagne until the dawn in the morning, and no one does that anymore. It's so hard to find people to really socialize with and level with on that type of, just level, because a lot of people are just obsessed, with just getting their next fix and moving on to the next person. And especially for the man nowadays, just going out here and trying to apply yourself to a society to where you already don't belong, because the nightclub is the last place you want to be. And there's also the fact that there's so much danger that can possibly be lurking around. Because who's to say that this girl that you're going up to, right, mainly focusing on male to female dynamics and dating, right? Who's to say this girl that you're going up to doesn't have some guy who she's dating with in the bathroom who just stepped off, or a guy who might be interested in her who might hurt you either way, all because you're going up to her? And sometimes as well, women will send you false choosing signals in the club because they want to make other men jealous who probably was talking to her before you got into the club. And then she comes up talking to you, and then before you know it, a fight is breaking out and you're involved in it because the guy chose to come up to you and start pushing you and everything. All because you chose the, trusted shit coming up to you, starting a conversation with her. And this is why nightclubs are so dangerous for men, because there are so many things that have led to, shootings, people losing their life. And this stuff is really brutal nowadays, guys. So that's why I would advise you guys to really stay away from nightclubs, because that stuff isn't going to benefit you. And then another thing is, you know, a lot of men who go to these nightclubs, they tend to have wingmen, and these guys will literally throw you under the bus as soon as a pretty woman and her friend comes up, right? They're going to throw you under the bus just so they can talk to her, because that's literally how guys are nowadays. Because you have to look at this dating market is literally just dry. It's like a Sahara desert. So when it comes to male competing with each other, you're going to turn on each other for that type of validation from a female, because you're not getting any. Imagine going to a nightclub nowadays in this type of society in the Western world around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Excuse me. So, yeah, a lot of men are going to throw a lot of other men under the bus, all because they're not getting that type of healthy female attention. And when you put this in a nightclub scene, a lot of men are going to get their feelings hurt. I even remember there was this one guy who told me he went to the nightclub, right? He had a great convo with a girl and everything. They were just talking, chilling, having a regular conversation from what he told me. And he literally told me he went and he asked for her number, after, she stepped off with her friend, and said she would be back, because he had planned on leaving with his friend group, right? And so he went up to the girl and said, "Hey, I'm about to go. Can I get your number?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm not interested." And the girl was just laughing about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. That's okay. I'll see you around maybe." Word for word, everything that he told me. And he said as he left the club, the girls literally were laughing and they looked at him as well. So you literally set yourself up to be rejected. Nightclubs are literally a rejection ground for men, because it's like I said before, beautiful women, frustrated men, and liquor is a horrible mix, because All three of these commodities are going to result in someone either getting their feelings hurt, which is going to be the man mostly, or someone just losing their life, all because someone got frustrated and mad, over, a rejection probably, or the guy got jealous of the other guy, or, in rare cases, the guy gets mad at the woman, and someone just gets hurt. And this is why it's so important to stay away from nightclubs, you see? So when we look at it for what it is, we really have to understand that the nightclub life has really died out. We aren't in the 80s or 90s anymore to where, partying, relationships, getting to know people, being a social butterfly is popular anymore. The new thing is basically staying to yourself in your own clique, finding a reason to dislike people. And that's another thing, guys. People in nightclubs literally find every reason to dislike you. If they see a man that's single and alone by himself, they're immediately going to mark you as prey. Someone that they can literally just make vicious comments about, because this is still how these people feed their dark egos. And that's the problem that we're facing in society as a whole as well. People having a false, just distorted ego to where they need to put others down to feel better. And nightclubs are nowhere you want to go near, especially if you're a sensitive guy calling yourself looking to date. That's the last place you want to be. It's a futile and just it's just such a dangerous and just foolish thing to do, because you're already a man that's been ostracized, so you don't need to go anywhere to where you're going to get more ostracized for being different and trying to socialize. Because even if you get the girl's number, even if the woman entertains your attention, you're always going to get ghosted, you're going to get lit on, and when the girl doesn't respond back, your feelings are going to end up hurt, and you're just going to be circling in your room all day wondering what the heck happened. But in reality, my friend, this woman was leading you on as a type of beacon for her to get energy from, so she can go to the next man that she actually finds desirable. That's what's so brutal about this stuff for men. But no one wants to talk about this stuff how it is. But that's my reason on why the nightclub is just it's doomed, and it's overrated and done for. But guys, stay away from nightclubs, because seriously, it's gonna end up in you at the end of the day getting rejected, 110% of the time. And you're gonna leave out with a broken heart, even if you get the girl's number and she's flirting with you. It's never going to work out and lead up somewhere, because excuse me here, you have to understand the nightclub itself is still a symbolism of a promiscuous place, guys. All of the flashing lights, the purple, the pink, the blue lights, the liquor, and everything. For what the nightclub was originally known for is not just partying, socializing, and relationships. It's also known to be a very promiscuous place, guys, for how it originally started. So do not trust nightclub life. Stay far away from it and really guard yourself, guys. But you guys take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I would appreciate it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.